Well, I want to talk about male pattern baldness in both men and women. I believe I've run across one of the most effective ways to reverse male pattern baldness in both men and women. I was starting to have the problem myself, even though I'm supplementing very heavily. And we know from a big study at Kyoto University that tin deficiency, especially in laboratory animals, will cause a male pattern baldness. And it doesn't matter if it's mice or rats or rabbits or guinea pigs or hamsters or dogs. You get a male pattern baldness, regardless of gender, when it comes to tin deficiency. You replete tin, give them tin back, and they grow their hair back. Well, I've been really pumping the tin, and I wasn't getting the results I was looking for. In fact, I was starting to lose hair on my arms, and I was getting concerned about that. And suddenly now, I was getting symptoms of gluten intolerance. It's kind of like eat a pretzel or something and get all itchy. So I gave up gluten. I gave up gluten. I don't even go into a household where they have a dog eating dry dog food. And by giving up gluten, hair started growing back on my arms. Of course, I was still taking an enormous amount of tin and the 90 for life. I've been taking the 90 for life twice a day for 65 years. But when I think back about it, as a kid, I did have some symptoms of gluten intolerance. But nobody obviously picked it up and so forth. And over time, when you look around and you say, what cultures on earth really don't have problems with baldness, gray hair, that kind of stuff, it turns out when you look at the Japanese and you look at the Chinese, they live on rice and millet and buckwheat and sweet potatoes, maybe even some pumpkins and squash. But wheat is not a big thing for them. Now, we've known about gluten intolerance since the days of the Greek philosophers and physicians back 2,000 years ago. So gluten intolerance is not a new thing, but most people back in the old days ate buckwheat and millet and that sort of stuff, and wheat wasn't a big part of their diet until, if you go by the anthropologists, say about 10,000 years ago, when in the Fertile Crescent, which in fact what biblically was the Garden of Eden. And since we started introducing wheat to the Western world, Europe and the United States, there's more and more bald men, more and more bald women. The wig sales are going crazy for both men and women. And I never, got into the wig thing, but there's a lot of people who do. I know a lot of people who wear wigs because they have thin hair. But you go on a gluten-free diet, and you take the 90 essential nutrients, which includes tin. I'm telling you, the hair grows back on your arms. If you're interested in that, guys, that gives you a signal, right? And also, the hair grows back in your head. I've had so many people say to me, Doc, are you wearing a wig? You're starting to grow a lot of hair. I said, no, I'm not wearing a wig. It's just coming back. I said, look at my arms. I'm looking like a hairy ape here. The hair's coming back on my arms. And everybody, regardless of gender, you take the 90 essential nutrients. If you're beginning to get thinning hair, a lot of people say, man, my hairbrush is just loaded with hair. I'm clogging up the drain in the bathtub with hair every time I take a shower. It's just falling out. Well, you get on a gluten-free diet. You take the 90 essential nutrients, which is very rich in tin, and guess what? You'll be amazed. I've seen it in probably about a dozen people now. I've been kind of tracking that with them. And sure enough, places where I was as bald as a bowling ball, bald as a billiard ball, I didn't have a single hair. And hair is coming back quite a striking way. And I didn't have a whole lot of gray hair. I had a little bit on my head, a little bit in my mustache, but that color's coming back too. So it took me a while to heal my intestines because I've been eating gluten all my life. I'm using the Chinese system, I'm 74. Using the American system, I'm 73, and counting. And I haven't been to a doctor in 65 years, and, of course, they wouldn't have gotten it anyway. And so I'm just so excited about this. Get on it. If you have thin hair, you have male pattern baldness, regardless if you're male or female, you get on the 90 essential nutrients. You get on the Healthy Start Pack, 1 per 100 pounds of body weight. Take in all 90 essential nutrients, all 60 essential minerals, which will include tin. And there's all kinds of other things that tin will do for you, including it's good for your heart and good for your skin, good for your arteries and veins. It's just a great mineral. It's one of the essential minerals, one of the 60 essential minerals. And I get so excited about it when I make some kind of little discovery. You can go get wigs. You can go do laser treatments. You get the red light you comb your hair with. You can do all kinds of stuff. But guess what? You get on a gluten-free diet. You take the 90 essential nutrients, which has the tin in it, and you're going to be amazed. But give it, anywhere from 3 to 6 months. And if you're in your 50s and 60s, it might take you 6 months to heal your intestines enough to be able to absorb sufficient amounts of that tin to make an impact. Because I've been gluten-free, gosh, I'd say I've been gluten-free for a good, seriously drop-dead gluten-free for 5 years. I've been tinkering with reduced gluten intake for 25 years. And so it really took quite a while for me to see that benefit to where I was getting the hair growing back. And it's just, it's like you turn on the switch and it's just kind of like going crazy. Just like that ad on TV now, they're having a beard growing contest, right? And it's just an amazing thing to see hair grow that fast. And that, universally, we're talking global alopecia in a lot of people where they lose hair, their pubic hair under their arms, on their chest, their neck, all over their head, places you think you should have hair, they lose it. And, of course, this bothers teenagers. You see teenagers who have thinning hair and they lose their hair. You get them on a gluten-free diet, you get them on the 90 for Life program, one healthy start pack for 100 pounds of body weight, and you will make a friend for life.